Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I want to be really honest with you guys in this video. It's been crazy lately. I've discovered that I'm a medium and I actually want to talk about it. I want to talk about the energies I'm experiencing, some of the different people I've channeled for, and just, I don't really know exactly where I'm going with this video, but we'll just see. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Megan. I do a lot of fake card readings. I'm developing my spiritual gifts and I like to talk about them, and I like to bring as much spiritual content as I can to you to hopefully bring you clarity, motivation, and inspiration. So let's talk about when I first discovered this gift. Okay, so I've been reading tarot for a little while and I was still practicing my tarot. I wasn't taking clients yet, so I was offering free readings. This was in the springtime of, so this is 2020. Okay. And I was doing one question readings for people. So they would submit their question, I would pull cards, and then I would send them a recording of their reading. One girl messaged me and she asked if I would channel her grandmother. And I told her, I said, I have no experience with this, but I'll try for you. And she was okay with that. So I tried, and I was surprised with it. It was tricky. It wasn't easy for me. It was difficult. And I didn't really know exactly what I was doing, but there was some things that resonated really strongly for her. I'll give you one little example of that reading. So I told her in the reading that I think it was her grandmother, gosh, it was so long ago now, that she comes through as a bird. And that's pretty common, for past loved ones. Maybe you don't know, but from what I've known, it's pretty common for past loved ones to show up as birds or feathers or butterflies, right? So I was like, well, did I really hear that, or was this just, me just making stuff up? Because sometimes when I'm channeling, it literally feels like I'm making stuff up. And she messaged me back, and she said that right before she listened to the reading, there was this bird that was right in her face, making a lot of noise and being really obnoxious. And she was just like, kind of had a feeling like it was her grandmother or something like that. And so she read my reading and she was like, oh my gosh, she had this crazy experience with an animal. And that's happened with some of my readings where I read for somebody and I'm like, oh, they show up as a spirit animal. And right before they listen to my reading, because I do my mediumship readings, I've only done one in person, and by in person I mean virtual. I haven't done any where the person's been sitting next to me. They've all been virtual, or I just channel the person in my own time, and then I send that person a recording. So it's never like a one-on-one really interaction thing for me. So usually when I send somebody the recording and I tell them about a certain animal, sometimes they see that animal show up right before they listen to the recording, which has just blown my mind. So after I did this reading for her, I didn't try to look into this ability. I didn't really feel comfortable with it yet. I was still learning tarot and just getting used to channeling messages from spirit, and I just decided to put that on hold. So recently, I realized that I have to start paying attention to it because I was giving somebody a tarot reading, this beautiful soul, and she had told me about somebody that passed in her life. And I just felt this weird energy come through. It wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing. It was kind of overwhelming because I wasn't used to it. But it was this really warm feeling. And it's different with every person that I channel. It's not like, oh, I know someone's coming through. At least not yet for me. Maybe it'll make more sense as time goes on. But it's been different for every person. So I felt the energy of this person that she was talking about. And so I started to deliver some messages, but I felt uncomfortable because I wasn't familiar with doing this, and I didn't want to give this person the wrong information, because when you're delivering messages from people that have passed, right, these people mean a lot to somebody, and it's a very sensitive topic. It's very emotional, it's very intimate, and I just honor that. I honor that process, and I didn't want to relay the wrong message or say the wrong thing or if I misinterpreted something wrong, and then I'm the messenger that's like messing up the message. I don't know. I was just really nervous about it. So I realized this is probably going to happen again in readings. I just had a feeling like this is something that I need to learn. So I was nervous. You guys, when I start doing these new things, I'm not just like, yeah, I got it. Like, take on the world, whatever. No. I freak out. Like, I get nervous, but I push myself because I want to grow and I want to build my spiritual gifts, and part of building your spiritual gifts is getting uncomfortable and kind of taking risks. At least that's how it's been for me in my path. So I went on my Instagram story and I was like, hey guys, I think I know how to channel dead people. And, I feel so awkward about it, right? And I was like, but if you want me to channel someone for you, I'll do it for free. I just ask for your feedback. I want real feedback, 100%. Even if I say something that's wrong, you have to tell me. Like, tell me what's up. And I got a lot of people that responded. And I've done most of them. I still have, I think, 4 more people to do. But I had about 20 people that reached out. It might have been more than that. I think around 20. And I can only do a few a day. It did take a lot out of me just because this is something new for me. And I want to tell you about the first one that I did. And she's okay with me sharing. She's one of my friends. We worked together. We used to work in TV production together in California. She's an amazing soul. And I really felt guided to do hers first. So I don't know her super well. She's not we've become closer recently, but I wouldn't say I know her very well. I don't know her family life. I've never met her family, Really the only time we hung out was usually when we worked together. So she wanted me to channel her father. And so here I am sitting in my room, like, burning some candles and Palo Santo, and I'm like, what am I doing right now? Like, what? This is insane. Like, never in my life did I think that I would be doing this kind of work. I mean, even tarot reading, I never thought I'd be doing that, right? I didn't think that I would be even able to do that. So I'm sitting in my room, and I started to get nervous, right? Because I'm like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to channel a person. Like, how do you do this? Like, I'm not even next to this person, right? This person just gave me, I asked for, okay, the name of the person and their relationship to you. So I knew the name of her. I knew her name, obviously, so I asked for that. The name of the person you want me to channel. And some people gave me last names, some people didn't. And then their relation to you. That's what I just felt guided to ask for. So I'm sitting in my room, and I'm like, okay, spirit guides, I believe I have this gift. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I want to channel so-and-so for this person. And at least for her, I was able to, like, visualize what she looked like. But for some people I channeled for, I didn't even know what they looked like or the person that looked like. I just had, like, a first name. So I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to channel because I didn't think I had enough information. But I was surprised that I didn't even need that. So when I'm channeling, I'm talking out loud as I'm trying to connect. Because I set my intentions out loud, even before I do a tarot reading. I think it's really important, at least for me. I think it helps to say, okay, this is what I'm doing, universe. This is what I need help with. Please guide me. Please help make the messages clear. Please help me to know what to say. And so I was pulling cards, but I realized that I think every medium is so different with how they channel information. And I think it's really important to find your specific way of how to do it. I started watching Tyler Henry, and I'm obsessed with all of his YouTube videos because he's a medium for the celebrities in Hollywood, and he has a show, and he scribbles. He scribbles just random stuff on a paper, and that's how he channels. So I thought maybe I would try that to see if, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm a scribbler. Right away I was like, nope, this isn't working. I'm not a scribbler. This is not it. So, and then I pulled some cards, and the cards helped a little bit. Sometimes I feel guided to pull the cards, but that wasn't it either. I felt like it was kind of almost distracting. And so I decided to close my eyes and focus on my breath, because there's this one healer I follow, and his name's Shaman Oaks, and he's amazing. And he talked about when he started channeling, and he would just meditate and clear his mind and focus on his breath. So I'm like, I'm going to try that. So focusing on my breath, and then all of a sudden I felt this energy come through. And it wasn't super strong. It was really gentle. It was really gentle. And I even was, when I was trying to channel this energy, this person, I told them, I was like, hey, I'm new at this, so can you please come in really gentle and can you be nice? Can you just, so I'm like, if they come in all aggressively or something, I might get too freaked out. And so I felt this very calming energy come in, and I was kind of hearing this. And when I say I hear something, it's more like a thought. It's not like I hear something. It's psychic hearing. It's clairaudience, but it's more of just thought that pops in my head. That's how I would describe it. And this thought that popped in was like, you're doing great, take your time, like, you know, it was just this like really nurturing energy, and I was like, am I making this up? Because guys, like, I literally still feel sometimes like I'm making stuff up. But then I'm always proved with validation that what I said or what I channeled was right. So this energy comes through of this man, and sometimes I could just feel what kind of person they were. And sometimes that's what first comes through. It's always something different. For some things, well, I'll just talk about how this one worked, but I just felt like his energy was really nurturing and really supportive and just like non-judgmental. Just super just like angelic. And I was like, who is this guy? This guy is cool. I was like immediately comforted by his energy. And so, you know, he started to talk about certain things, and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't like he was just talking, it was thoughts. And I really had to focus on my breath. And an oppression would come in, and then I would have to clear my mind again and just go, I have to close my eyes and just breathe really deep breaths, and then like take 3 or 4, and then something would come to mind. And it's like a thought. And so I just was writing everything down, and when I shared it with her, she said I described him to a T. She was like, that's his energy. He was super non-judgmental. We could talk to him about anything. He was just the most amazing father, and, you know, she's like, you just described him perfectly. So after this beautiful energy comes in, then all of a sudden I start to feel this heavy feeling, this tired, heavy feeling, like I'm just weighed down. My whole body feels weighed down. And normally this would freak me out, but I remember watching my friend Brigitta and her channel. She's awesome, check her out. And we've collaborated together, but she's done videos where she talks about her channeling, and sometimes she feels certain things that they feel before they died, and they can be really uncomfortable or unpleasant. So I kind of remembered that, and I was like, oh, this is something to do with, he's bringing this feeling in for me to feel, you know what I mean? So it was this heavy feeling, so I just described that to her. I said I feel really heavy and really just like I can't, like something about not getting out of bed and, you know, wishing I could get out of bed, and I just felt this, it was just a strong feeling. It was my clairsentience, you could say. So I described that, and then the other things that came through were music and a red truck, and I was like, that was like all I got, you know. So I just like left that to her, and she said that right before he passed, he was like in bed and he couldn't move, and he was just really tired, and, you know, he wished he could have gotten up and done stuff more with her, and she was feeling the same way. She wished she would have done more with him or spent more time with him before he passed or something. So there was just like, it was exactly what she needed to hear. Sometimes what I'm saying doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm like, well, why would somebody want to know this? But then they hear it, you know, and they're like, that's exactly what I needed to hear for closure or validation, or just like to feel connected to that person again. And so that was really helpful for her. And then the red truck thing, the music and jazz kind of resonated, but it was something, usually my readings, I realized, because they're about 70 to 80% right from what I see. Sometimes they go up to almost 100%, but they're not supposed to be 100% right from what I've learned anyways on this journey. They're not supposed to be like that, which is sometimes hard for me because I want it to all be right. I'm terrified of saying the wrong thing, but I'm starting to move past that fear. But the red truck, she said that he had a red truck, and after he died, that their family was arguing over whether or not to sell it, and that was like a big thing that happened after he died. So that was a really good it wasn't my first reading, but it was my first intended, like, really trying to learn my gift kind of reading. It felt like my first reading. And it was interesting, too, because after I channeled this energy of this man, I felt like he was still around me, like, days after, and not in a bad or, like, a creepy way. It was a good way. It was almost like he was helping me. And I thought about reaching out to her and telling her, but I was like, no, that's weird. Like, oh, I'm just hanging out with your dad. Like, that's weird, right? But then 2 or 3 weeks later, we're messaging each other on I think, Instagram, and she's like, you know, I think this might be weird, but I feel like your dad, my dad is still around you, and I feel like he's helping you. And I was like, what? I know, he is helping me. She's like, I was afraid to tell you. I was like, yeah, I was afraid to tell you too. So that was like insane, and I still feel like his presence is around me because it's such a beautiful vibration, and I feel like he's helping me with this gift. So anyways, I start doing more channeling, and it's I do probably 3 or 4 a day because I'm trying to not overexert myself, and I think it's just taking more energy now than it will in the future. I'm not really sure exactly how it works, but I can tell that my gifts are expanding. I can tell that it's getting better. So I'm sorry if you're still waiting on your reading from me, but it's good that you have to wait because it's probably going to be better than the first ones I did because they do seem to be getting better. But you guys, I can't believe that I can do this. It's still blowing my mind. It's really nice that I'm still doing these readings for practice to get validation because I kind of need that validation because it's just giving me the proof that this is a gift of mine and that it's real. Because I've never not believed in psychics or mediums. I've never thought that they were fake, but I always thought there were probably fake ones out there, you know, like, oh, that could be real, that sounds legit, but, you know, there's probably a lot of people that have bad intentions, but I never thought that I would be doing this, ever. It's still blowing my mind. I even had a really deep cry this morning because I was so overwhelmed by it, but also really excited about it. And I was just processing it. I'm like processing all of this new energy and this new gift, and it's a lot. And so I just cried, and I needed that release. And what triggered that cry was a review that I got from this girl who I just did her reading for her yesterday. And she sent me the longest detailed description of giving me just really good feedback. So, and she told me I could share her reading, so I'm going to get into that one as well. But yeah, I cried because it just made me happy, and it really gave me a really strong validation because I got so many things right in it, and it was just so random. Okay, so this reading I did for her, it was for her grandfather, and it was really interesting because at first, when this energy came through, it wasn't like prominently his energy, it was more focused on her. And I thought that was interesting because it's, you know, but I just went with it. I was like, okay, this is the direction we're going. And I just got the sense that she was going through a lot of deep healing. And we're in an eclipse season right now when I was doing this reading, and I felt like this time for her was really intense. And so I just started to talk about that. I really felt like her gifts were coming through, and it was just really beautiful. And so I shared that, and the energy I was getting from this grandfather was very angelic, very, like, wise. Like, he's lived a lot of lives, he had a lot of information, and he was definitely one of her prominent spirit guides. I felt his energy strong, and it was just like, this is like King of Swords energy, if you guys know what I'm talking about. It was just like the Emperor, really powerful, and in a really good way, a really good kind of powerful way. Anyways, so I was excited. I was like, whoa, who is this? Who am I channeling right now? You know? And so then I start to do my breathing, and I start to go trying to focus on, you know, this person's energy, this grandfather. And I start to realize that my clairvoyance is starting to come through. Because I didn't think I had clairvoyance, but now I'm like, I do have clairvoyance. Because I have clairaudience, which is psychic hearing. I have clairsentience, which is psychic feeling. Claircognizance, I don't know. I think we all have all the gifts, but we have ones that are stronger. So clairvoyance is psychic seeing. So all of a sudden I see an image, which usually it's like more words, like thoughts, like I said. I see an image of this man with this little girl walking outside in nature, and they're like picking flowers. And I was like, okay, so I shared that. You know, I'm like, okay, I see this, and I see picking flowers, and then I heard something with coins. Like, I was like, maybe he collects coins, or maybe he shows up as coins, because some of our spirit guides or ghosts or something, they can show up as coins. And also Oreos came through, which I thought was really random, like Oreos and cookies. So I was like, I don't know if you guys ate Oreos together. Like, so random, right? I like, literally every time I do this, I'm like, what am I making up now? It's like, how is this happening? So yeah, and I just got this energy that he really liked the simple things of life, like really calm energy, and I just felt like they had a really good bond. And I also had this impression that she was really upset when he died, and that she was younger, and that she was really confused and like sad, and it's just this confusion feeling I was feeling, like that's what I felt. And Yeah, so those are the main parts of it. So anyways, she said that when they were younger, when she was younger, that they did go pick flowers. They spent a lot of time outside. He did collect coins. She sees coins sometimes and is reminded of him. They used to eat Oreos together all the time, Oreos and cookies. She still loves Oreos. I was like, what? And then he was like a really simple man. He loved the simple things in life. And she knows that he's a spirit guide because that was confirmed from another medium. And she just has a strong connection with him. And he did pass when she was younger. And she was really, really, really sad and really confused about his death, which I won't get into the details of his death because I feel like that's a lot to share. But there was just so much confusion for her. And it really made sense when she told me why. And it was so powerful because he's really working with her to open up her gifts and help her with her psychic abilities and like all this stuff. I'm like, you have a powerful guide. You got some powerful relatives, girl, you know? And yeah, she confirmed everything. And she just gave me the longest, most beautiful, heartwarming response. She said my videos have been helping her a lot. And I just started crying. And I was so happy because I literally woke up this morning and I was like, whew, I feel heavy. I need to cry. I need a good cry. An hour later, I get her email and I'm like, like crying. I'm like in tears. So I love that. I love when stuff happens like that in such perfect timing because I enjoy a good cry, even if it's a painful cry now. I used to hate crying. I used to hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. I didn't like how stuffy I got. I hated the headaches. I hated feeling, sad. You feel so weak. Now I just feel strong. I feel like I'm clearing and I feel lighter afterwards. I just see it so differently. So anyways, so I want to tell you guys, like, every reading, I'm not trying to toot my own horn because I'm still validating my own gift, but every reading I've done has resonated for people. There's been a few things that haven't, and they've told me, they're like, well, this didn't really make sense. And I love following Tyler Henry. You guys, if you don't know him, you should just check him out because not only is he such a good medium, he's a really good communicator and he's really good at working with people to help them because working as a medium, it's a very sensitive, very emotional connection that's made. And when you're channeling for somebody, you really need to be able to nurture them and listen to them and help them. So there's a lot of counseling that goes along with it, and that's a big, important part of it. Not just like getting the right information or hearing the right messages. It's about how you communicate the messages and then how you listen and how you comfort that person that's, grieving or finding that closure finally, but it's emotional because you're like, whoa. For some people, they're like, I didn't even know there was an afterlife or that this person was around me or like working with me, but you just knew all these things that you shouldn't have known, so obviously it's real, and it's like all of these perceptions are changing in their life and it's opening doors, and it's huge. Like, doing this work is freaking bigger than I could have ever imagined, but it's so rewarding. Like, I freaking love it. I love doing this for people. I love it. I love tarot. I love reading tarot for people because tarot's focusing on like building people's power up and their gifts, and they're getting them motivated and excited and building a strong connection to source, and that's so powerful. But this work is like healing on a whole new level. It's so magical. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's literally magical. So if any of you are watching and you're starting to explore your medium gifts, or like you're like, maybe I think I have them, you probably do, and let me tell you, it's a little freaky at first. It is. It's still a little freaky sometimes because now sometimes I feel energies in my room that are like ghosts or something, and I'm still not completely open to that because I'm like, one thing to feel angels around you, or spirit guides. Like, those energies are cool, but ghosts, I'm still not sure exactly how that whole realm works. I'm learning about it. And my one friend, Celeste, go check out her channel. I'm giving so many shout outs on this video. But she is good with ghosts, and she channels their energy sometimes. And it's really beautiful. She's really helped make it seem less scary for me. So maybe we'll do a video on that one day. But it's really cool. And I do talk a lot. I feel like I talk a lot about protecting your energy, because I think a lot of people that channel or read tarot or heal or energy healers are a little scared about, a bad entity coming in or bad energy or you absorbing someone's energy. But as I've been changing my mindset with that and releasing the fear behind that, because there's a lot of fear, I feel like, in the spiritual community about absorbing people's energy or a bad entity or, I mean, obviously there's bad energies out there. But when we give that energy too much fear, I think it just takes away from our own inner power. And I feel very protected just by switching my mindset. And this is taking time. It's not just something that can switch like that. This is something I've been implementing and practicing in my life. Because sometimes when we change a belief, it takes time. It can take weeks or months, or for some beliefs it can take years, I think. So as I'm changing my belief and realizing how strong and powerful I am and how protected I am, I don't fear it as much. I don't fear that I'm going to channel some bad energy or satanic energy, or that I'm going to have someone psychically attack me, or, whatever. I feel strong about it. Don't get me wrong, I still wear crystals to protect me sometimes. This is black tourmaline. I just got this ring. Can you guys see it? It's so pretty. I mean, I mostly got it because it's pretty. But I'll still burn some Palo Santo or have my crystals around, but I don't feel like I absolutely need them. I don't feel like I need to implement them before I read for somebody. Because we're all so freaking powerful. We're all so powerful. And I talk about this a lot on my channel, but you guys probably get sick of me saying it. But honestly, I used to think of, my spirit guides, angels, God, source, spirit, so much higher above me. Like, here's me. Here's my angels and spirit guides, right? Here's spirit, here's God, or, like this tier kind of thing. And now it's like, it's such an illusion of separation. Just like we have this illusion of separation with other humans, right? We think we're so separate, but we're so connected, and we're all part of God. We're all God. And it's the same with our angels and guides that work with us, these other energies. We're just as powerful as they are. We are. And they're trying to show us that, It's just like we're in this mindset of like, no, I'm just human. Like, what? I can't do that. But the more I grow my spiritual journey, the more I get into all of this, I'm realizing how truly powerful we all are and how deeply we are connected. Like, it amazes me that I can channel somebody. I talked about this on my Instagram story. Say I channel for Jessica. Jessica's like, hey, I don't see a picture of her. She, sends me a DM. She's like, can you channel my dad that passed? And his name is Mark. I'm like, okay. So I just need, his name's Mark. Your name's Jessica. I'm going to sit in my chair. I know nothing about this person. Don't know how they look. Don't even know what part of the world they're in. Don't have anything to hold on to that they owned at one point in their life. And I can channel this kind of information. It's like, how? I mean, that's just that illusion of separation. It's that illusion. It's just not that full understanding of energy. Like, I'm still trying to understand energy and how it works. Because that's like magic to me doing that. That's magic. I don't know how to explain it, right? I mean, what? It's not like I can look at them and pick up on their energy from like how they're holding their arms or how they're standing, like how they say some psychics do that. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just trying to explain to you guys like the process of how this works and how I'm coming to realize how it works, because I still don't understand everything, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, really, because I'm trying to understand everything. Is just, I've come to find it's very impossible, because I used to be in that energy of like, well, why is this, and why is that, and why is this, and I still have a curious open mind, don't get me wrong. However, I think it's okay to accept that things are just not supposed to be fully understood. So yeah, let me know how you guys like this video, what you thought of it. I'm thinking about doing a video about reading tarot and like beginner steps to how to read tarot. If you guys are interested in that, let me know, because it's not going to be like, oh, this card means this and this card means that. It's kind of just going to be like my process and how I do it and how that might help you, because I think it's important to learn about how different people read tarot, because everyone's so unique. But you might be like, oh, I like that part of what they do and I like that part of what they do, or this or that. So if you guys think that would help, let me know. I'm still thinking about it, but I think it could be fun. Let me share one more story. This isn't a specific one. This is just funny because this other person I channeled for, it was somebody in their family, and I listed 3 things in a row. I listed that came through, and it was like cars, motorcycles, and breakfast food, like waffles and stuff. And I'm like, what? Like, why am I saying this right now? And they sent me a picture of their Instagram, and it literally had 3 pictures in a row of what I said. It was like a car, a motorcycle, and breakfast food. And I was like, that's crazy. How did I know that? But yeah, it's really cool. It's very exciting. It's draining. It can be very draining because I don't know, I'm still figuring out all that energetic frequency and how it all works, but I think it's just because it's new and I'm learning. It'll get lighter over time. I do feel like that. So if you guys have questions about your own gifts, if you have comments or anything cool, magical you want to share, put them down in the comments. Let me know. I really like connecting with you guys. Also, I am going to start offering medium readings. I haven't decided the price yet. I think I'm going to do $30, but I will keep you posted, and I will post it. Once I offer the service, I'll post it on my website, which I have the link down below in my description box. But I think 30 is a good amount. Because I don't want to charge too much at first, since I do feel like I'm still learning. But anyways, I love you guys. I'll leave it at that, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye.